Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. I came home after a night shift expecting quiet, the kind that seeps into your bones after 12 hours under harsh lights, bad coffee, and machines that never rest. My head buzzed, my feet throbbed. All I wanted was Nancy. Normal. Familiar. Instead, the first thing that caught my eye was the kitchen light. It was blazing. Nancy hated bright lights in the morning. She used to joke they made the house feel judgmental. I slowed down, confused. I slipped inside, set my keys down without a sound, kicked off my boots, still half stuck in work mode. Then I heard laughter. Not drowsy or soft, sharp, careless. My chest tightened before my mind caught up. I stepped forward and the smell hit me next. Wine. Sweet, expensive. The bottle I'd bought for our anniversary next month. Open. Half gone. And then I saw them. Nancy was on the kitchen counter, perched like it was nothing, one leg bent, the other dangling. A man stood between her legs, his hands resting on her thighs as if they belonged there. She turned and froze when she saw me, color draining from her face. Time stalled. It felt like I'd wandered into someone else's life by mistake. She spoke first. Peter, you weren't supposed to see this. Not an apology. Not denial. Just a scheduling error. Something inside me went cold. No anger yet, just a hollow click like a switch flipped off. The man turned around, irritated, confused, as if I'd interrupted him. Same height as me. Clean cut. Wearing a jacket I recognized because I'd seen it hanging in our hallway before. Everything lined up then, the late nights, the sudden girls' dinners, the way Nancy stopped asking about my shifts. I didn't shout. I didn't lunge. I reached into my pocket and took out my phone. Her reaction was instant. What are you doing? She snapped, hopping off the counter so fast she nearly slipped. The guy backed away, hands raised. I'm recording, I said evenly. My voice sounded far away. Just so I don't misremember this. That's when she panicked. Are you crazy? Put that away. You can't do that. She lunged for my phone. I stepped back. My hands were steady even though my heart wasn't. That steadiness scared her more than yelling would have. Peter, please, she said, her voice breaking. It wasn't guilt. It was fear of consequences. The guy cleared his throat. Look, man, this is getting out of hand. I didn't know. Didn't know what? I asked, finally looking at him. That she's engaged? That we live here? Or that I paid for this counter? He glanced at Nancy. She wouldn't meet his eyes. I let out a short, bitter laugh. You know what's funny? I just worked a night shift to pay for a wedding you apparently canceled without telling me. She cried then, loud, messy tears. Said it was a mistake. Said she didn't mean to fall for him. Said I was never home, always tired, that she felt invisible. Invisible. I thought about the ring. The guest list. The future I was grinding myself down to build. I stopped recording and lowered my phone. If this already feels unreal to you, tap like so this reaches others who've lived it too. I looked at Nancy one last time. Pack your things, I said quietly. One of us is leaving tonight. She stared at me stunned. You can't just. I can, I said. And I am. The guy shifted, suddenly aware he didn't belong. I walked past them down the hall. Behind me, Nancy called my name, not with love but with panic. For the first time in a long time, I didn't turn around. I drove for nearly an hour with no destination. Dawn was breaking, that pale gray-blue light that makes everything look brutally honest. My grip on the wheel was tight, but my mind was calm. Something permanent had ended, and I knew it. I pulled over at a small overlook, shut off the engine, and listened as it ticked. My phone buzzed again and again, Nancy's name lighting up the screen like a challenge. I didn't answer. Not out of spite, but because any conversation would have been about calming her fear, not facing what she'd done. I checked the video once, not to torture myself but to anchor reality. There it was. The counter. Her words, you weren't supposed to see this. Clear. Final. If you've ever had a moment that flipped your life upside down, comment the word clarity. Naming it can help. By sunrise I'd decided. I wasn't going back to bargain or beg for explanations that would only shift blame. I went to my brother's place. He took one look at me, handed me coffee and said, stay as long as you need. Later that day Nancy finally texted, please, we need to talk. I made a mistake. I stared at it, then replied, I saw everything. There's nothing left to explain. No insults. No speeches. Silence used properly is loud. The following week was quietly brutal. Canceling vendors, calling family, watching a future dissolve into awkward pauses and sympathy. When people asked what happened, I kept it simple. She broke my trust. The ones who mattered didn't need more. What surprised me wasn't the pain, it was the relief underneath. I hadn't realized how much of myself I'd been shrinking to keep things smooth. Endurance without respect isn't loyalty. It's erasing yourself. Nancy tried again days later, this time with anger, accusing me of abandonment, calling the recording cruel. That's when it fully clicked. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was angry I didn't shield her from the fallout. I blocked her number. If this story connects with you, consider sharing it with someone carrying the same weight. Sometimes all it takes is a mirror. Weeks passed. Sleep returned. I started hitting the gym after work, not to punish myself but to feel grounded. Quiet evenings became peaceful. Breathing felt easier without the constant question of what I was missing at home. One night, unpacking the last box in my new place, I found the ring. I held it for a long time, then put it away, not with bitterness but with gratitude. It taught me something costly but important. Love isn't measured by how much disrespect you endure. It's measured by the boundaries you're willing to enforce when it matters most. If you found value in this story, like it, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more real stories about trust, boundaries, and self-respect. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary.